Hey, good morning, it's Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Wanted to do a blog on the 4 most common misleading, exaggerated, or just plain made up statements or realtor remarks that I often see be playing out on the MLS, especially in downtown Vancouver these days. So these are the 4 most common, I'm going to call them creative advertising statements that I see that I sometimes have to shake my head at. Number 1 is exaggerating the renovation costs or what they spent on renovating a unit. I've seen 1,000 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath units in downtown where, according to the seller, they spent over $250,000 on the reno. You look at the photos and yeah, they've done a nice reno, but $250,000 might be stretching it a little bit. That one always is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Pretty tough to spend $250,000 on a 1,000 square foot condo unless you're lining the walls with gold or the floors are made out of titanium. I think that's one of the most common ones I see. And I always suggest to my clients, when we list a home that's been fully renovated, don't over-exaggerate what the reno costs have been. You know, a good realtor is going to go in there, and if you say you spent $250,000 and it looks like maybe half of that when you tour the home, you start to wonder, well, what else are they exaggerating with this unit as well? Second thing I see is 2 parking spaces when they've I see this especially on townhomes. They've enclosed the back of a garage to create an extra room or a den or a family room, but in the data input they still include 2 parking spaces. If you remove a parking space, don't keep it as the original 2 parking space. You're now down to 1 parking space. The other thing with parking that I see, especially in downtown condos, especially in Gastown, Crosstown, areas where they're older heritage buildings that have been converted, some of those do have parking in the building, but they're rare. But oftentimes you'll see in the remarks that it includes a parking spot, but then it comes time you find out later that the parking spot isn't in the building. It's a leased parking spot 2 blocks down at an in-park. So when you include parking in a unit in the MLS data input, it should be parking that's in the unit or in the building, and it comes with the unit. Leased parking that is on a 10-year lease that you're paying $140 for, or even if it's a prepaid lease, if that's the case, that should be spelled out. You shouldn't just put 1 parking spot included without going into more detail that you don't actually own the spot. It's leased and it's not even in the building. You've got to go a block or 2 away, walk to get to it. One of the final ones, including a deck or a patio in the finished square footage. This happens quite a bit. Now, there's some cases where maybe someone's enclosed the deck, glassed it in, put in carpeting. Even in those cases, if you want to include it in this total square footage because you've finished it and enclosed it, in the agent's remarks, you should be putting in there that the square footage includes 120 square foot enclosed deck. But I often see sometimes where people have included just an open patio, even a part of a garage, as finished area, and to exaggerate the square footage. Final over-exaggeration is what that unit is currently renting for, or what the realtor thinks you can rent that unit for. And in a lot of these buildings that I see where I am familiar with what the current rents are going for, a lot of times they're correct, but a lot of times I see that over-exaggerated as well, where they say they're getting $2,200 a month, when I know full well that I could go onto Craigslist and I know what the rentals are going in there, or maybe more like $1,800 a month. So some people like to embellish what the rental potential is on some of these units. So those are the 4 most common, what I'll call exaggerated or creative marketing techniques that I've seen used on some MLS listings in Vancouver right now. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.